Hello everyone and welcome for another video of Love and War Games. Today we go back on covering Conquest, and you know how much I love this game, and we've got a lot of things to see. We received 3 boxes for the W'adhruns, which is a lot, but they've been quite a favorite these past few months, and now they're getting, well, let's start with the basic units. They're getting the Chosen of Death, so much anticipated new unit of Chosen. We already have the Chosen of Conquest. If these guys are just as strong, and we'll see they are quite a bit, there will be a linchpin in the W'adhrun armies, and they are chosen. So there are a lot of things to say about the new army list of the W'adhrun. We will take this opportunity to talk a bit more about the W'adhruns as a whole and their special roles. We are getting also a mounted predator artisan series, very beautiful. We expect a miniature. The style looks amazing. I actually did see it in live. Like, I made a battle report in French that should be released somewhere in December. I will probably put a link when it's released, and this looks amazing once painted. And finally, we have, of course, the massive Quatl, which from the spoilers I had looks absolutely massive. So I cannot wait to unbox it. And of course, as always, this video is going to be in 3 parts actually. First, we make a quick unboxing. We have a look at the sprue and the resins and see like the first feeling about how they look. Then we have a little tactica on how to play those miniatures in the Last Argument of Kings. And finally, in First Blood, because both games I think are really good, even though Last Argument of King remains the main game. Okay, without further ado, let's start opening the box, and let's start with the Chosen of Death. Okay, and as I start opening the box, as always, if you're not a subscriber yet and you want to see more Conquest stuff, do subscribe, give us a like, a comment. It makes us very happy as always. And we have a full like contest game. When you put a comment, you get a chance to win either a Dystopian Wars fleet. This maybe you're not interested, but you can also win a Dwegom army, like a force for almost 1,000 points in Last Argument of King. So make sure to do that. Now let's have a look at those Chosen of Death. I see exactly 3 times the same sprue, building instruction, and the cards. Okay, quite interesting that they put thrice the same sprue. So we understand like this allows you to make 4 times the same, four different infantry units, my mistake. And yeah, there is a lot of details in that. Look at those weapons, do you see that? Let me point the light directly on it. Yeah, the level of detail is insane. There's a lot of little bits. Let me just touch it quickly. Yeah, it is good plastic. It will be resilient. It will not break to the first little impact that you might make. Okay, so that makes me a little bit reassured, because when I see this, I have always like kind of like PTSD from those little fiddly thing. And now you see you can push it. It's not gonna break the first time you try to grab the miniature from the wrong side. Looks very aerial. Like you see there is a lot of undulation and lots of little teeth on those. Like this looks like a chainsword. Now let's be honest, it looks like this sword slash hammer of the lizard man, which is very much on theme for the W'adhrun, which have this central slash Southern American vibes. You can see they're really going to look amazing once painted with these little, how we call it, tabards in English. I'm not sure how to say it anymore. But yeah, those look absolutely brilliant. Cannot wait to face them on the battlefield. Well, I mean, they're probably gonna put a lot of death into my Dwegoms, but hopefully like they will look brilliant. They will go to Hyacinthe, who has a French channel called Jeux, Rubine et Famine. I put a link, and he posts some French also battle reports of Conquest quite often, and sometimes I show up in them, so have a look for these as well. Just for information, the massive battle report that is going to be in December with all these miniatures is from Iggy TV, also links in the description. It is going to be a really long video because we have a lot of units to cover and a lot of things to say in Last Arguments of King and First Blood, so we'll not spend too much time on the Chosen of Death. You can see there is pose number 1, okay, pose number 2, pose number 3, and pose number 4, and leader. Okay, so there's going to be not so many poses. They don't seem so buildable. Like, you really have to build them in a specific way. So we'll have to see if you make a huge pack, maybe it's not going to be very visible. But since they are so aerial, I think you can multiply this quite a lot, and it's still going to be quite fine. The difference between the troops and the leader is the leader has this little bit here, like only one sword, and here it's like a command horn, I would say. So okay, that is the difference. And I'll just end by showing the card, which is very stylish. You've got, of course, everything to make your miniatures for First Blood, and this if you play Lost Arguments of Kings. Now let's go for the Mounted Predator. The Mounted Predator, which is resin from what I saw, and it has its own incorporated base. I know because the player like eGift with whom I played has only like a transparent basis, except for this guy, which is resin, and it comes with the base, so of course you have to do it. But look at this style. This looks incredible, like how it's holding the raptor back while it's screaming out, like brilliant. Let's open it. Little fluff, nice as always. We again have this high quality like box where you have only one miniature, but there is nice packaging. First things first, you do get this beautiful scenic base. Look, I would say it looks like almost city-state-ish. Wow, the texture is so smooth and so nice to the touch. Wow. Oh, it's really enjoyable. I don't have this memory for other resin. It's very smooth, very nice. Okay. Let's not spend too much time rubbing the base. Let's have a look at the card first. Yeah, come on. How cool is that? How cool is that? And they're gonna... If Yasan was not already playing W'adhrun, I would probably start an army as well. You've got, of course, this to put your little terrain on it. Okay, great. And you have 4 different resin bits. Let's have a look what we have. First box, we get the body of the raptor itself. Like probably the head's gonna go there. Hey, the guys at Parabellum, they know what they're doing with resin. The texture here and those little bags like that for transport and stuff, like it really tells a story with this, like of their lifestyle, and they don't just ride the raptors to the war, like it's really like their companion, like they go around the deserts and stuff with them. Ooh. Got a little, oh my god, this looks fiddly though, not sure where it goes yet, but yeah, little control harness I would say, and yeah, more weapons with a ton of flash, good lord. But again, it's very easy to clean, either with a toothbrush if you want to be safe, but you can just usually take it off by hand. So yeah, more fiddly bits. Don't try this at home, but I'm just doing this to show you like it's not easily breakable. Like, okay, the hand. You will have to clean this probably with toothbrush to make sure there is no flesh left. The spear itself, let's clean it again. Yeah, very commanding pose. And then we go with some dinosaur leg. Okay, yeah, great detail, the same texture. The claws, oh my god, yeah. The kid that saw Jurassic Park and that still sleeps in me is like, wow, I need this army. Lots of different bits, lots of flash, but it's okay again. I love that they put them little feathers, like as we've seen on how they get painted, it really brings a lot of a character to the miniature. Yeah, the screaming face like this, it's like really like wow. I mean, just going back there, just look at this, like with the color scheme, like with this, with the feathers and everything, and the control, it looks really, really brilliant. I guess we're now, the last bag, we're gonna get this and that, I'm guessing. And yes, indeed, the mount, like the predator itself, herself. Quite funny that the normal predator is male because it's walking, and if you put it on the raptor, it's a female, because in the W'adhruns, only the female can ride the carnivores and males ride herbivores. And there is the head, as we expected. Alright. The tail of the raptor itself. Alright, and especially I like this thing. It really gives like a command banner style. Love it. It will look brilliant in the middle of a pack of raptor riders. It really gives this chief vibe. I only wish like we could have more examples of this to put it in other raptor rider units or even other dino rider units. Damn, this looks brilliant. As you know, the Artisan series is a little bit more expensive. Like they try to do this so people can show support to the game. So they are very high quality, but when you compare the price of one mounted predator compared to what you could get with other boxes of Conquest, you're like, it's a bit expensive. And yes, it is, but first of all, you get all this resin stuff. It's kind of like, I really put big quotation mark, it's kind of like Forge World for Games Workshop, I would say, but with better quality, because Forge World was a mess. Like I remember buying from them and wow, the resin was not like this at all. And yeah, but if you do want to buy those and show support, but also support our channel, Love and Wargames, you can go to Parabellum website and use the code LOVE10, and it gives you 10% discount on what you're buying. And we also get quite a bit actually, and thank you a lot if you do that. because this is by now the main income from the channel is for Conquest, which is why we are painting 2 armies in parallel, and we are really stepping up to build a community in Paris and get you more and more battle reports, because we know you guys love this. Last but absolutely not least, let's open the box of this massive Quatl. Let's open this, and oh my god, that's a big plastic sprue. Oh, look at those bits. Okay, let's take it off. Oh my god. Okay, this is like a statement, as you can see. Like, whoa. Okay, that we can make very massive wings. Look at this side, like look compared to the hand. If you put this and this on each side, the miniature is gonna be massive. Okay, first thing I'm gonna check, can you magnetize it? Because goddamn, I'm not stocking this at my home. How do you even transport it? So yeah, I guess you're gonna have to not glue it here, but to drill a little bit. It's quite thick, you can do this, and put magnets. Because there is no way in hell, in my home, I'm keeping this creature with its massive wings deployed, and my wife not killing me. You also have the weapon, but look at the arm of this guy compared to the creature. Like, I'm thinking of the nightmare in terms of storing and transporting it, but with magnets, it's gonna be fine. But I'm also thinking how cool this is gonna look on the table. This plus a Tauntaur and a Apex Predator, you can make a real Jurassic Park force, and damn, this is gonna look brilliant. Another sprue for the Quatl itself, as you can see. It's quite fun with the open mouth. Get the spine there with wiggly thing. Let's test it. Yes, it's resilient. Good. Second half of the face with the hand like this. You are giving the hand to get beaten, little boy. And this allows you to play either the Winglord Predator, which is basically the mounted predator which you just seen, but aerial version, which is male, because this guy eats not fish. Wait a second, is it a male or a female? I just start to wonder. It is a male, so this guy is herbivore, or maybe just eats fish, and fish are not considered meat by W'adhrun evolution standards either, somehow. Okay. Or you can play it as basic Quatl, which is not the commander version, but just a unit version, which is why you probably want to. Just kidding. Well, am I? And finally, the sprue for the leader itself, leaders. So you have one head like this, which is going to be for the commander version. And this face is for the regular pilot slash driver slash rider, if you want to play the Quatl as itself. And of course, you get the massive base, monster base for this guy. He has very interesting rules for flying over units and stuff. We'll talk about it in the second part of the video. I realize I've been recording for like a while, almost 20 minutes, and we still have a lot, and I mean a lot of things to say. Yeah, this video is not being shorter than 1 hour, I'm afraid, guys. Let me know if you don't like this long terms format, or if you want me to separate unboxing and tactical reviews. But yeah, you do have 3 sprues. 3 sprues for the price. You might say like, oh, that's quite a bit, because this is like a monster, so it's quite a big centerpiece, especially if you start to want 2 of those. But yeah, it's gonna be absolutely massive on the table. And again, when you buy especially big pieces like this is when the 10% discount from Love 10 is really going to be important. Like Love 10 or another channel if you prefer other channels. But yeah, do use this, because you still support Parabellum, but you support others, and you give yourself economies, and then you can buy maybe 2 of those. As you can see, Winglord Predator Riders is going there, but you can have the alternate riders. Okay, so yeah, really a lot of variety. They really plan for you to have 2 of those, which is exactly what Hyacinthe will get, because he's buying himself another of those Quatl for himself. So do expect 2 Quatls on the battle report soon. Ish. We need to find a plan, like he needs to paint them first. Okay, that is, I'm still shocked by the size of the wings. That is very impressive. It looks difficult technology-wise, but okay, we've seen the 3 boxes. We still have a lot of things to do, so let's switch right now to the tactical part for the last arguments of Kings. Second half of the video, and we are going to cover the Tactica for each of these units. First for Last Arguments of King, the mass battle game, and then for First Blood, the skirmish game. As we can see, the Orbats, not the Orbat, the command books have been updated quite recently by the second half of October. So we can think that there is not going to be a major update anytime soon. I would like to apologize for making the video like almost a month late, because I received it in December and then there was end of the year vacations. There was a lot of new videos to release, and I hope you were not expecting on my video to choose whether you want to buy them or not. But regardless, let's now see if you should, like, how you should play those miniatures. The W'adhruns, as we have seen before, are basically orcs riding dinosaurs. Very cool. And the thing that is important is that they used to be very complex. Remember, I used to warn you, like, guys, like, this is not beginners friendly. Now it's a lot easier. I will not go too much in details, but basically you cannot waste your chance anymore. The mechanic is still here. It's a little bit less OP when you're a very good player, because there used to be some insane combos that were way over the top. Now it's easier to use. There is a lower floor, but also a lower ceiling, which is fine, like, unless you are an extremely competitive W'adhrun player, and if you are, you will find other combos and other ways to play. But if you are beginners or even just an average player, the W'adhrun is so much more fun to play. One thing that, if you want to see those new W'adhruns in action, there's been a battle report by IGTV, and I will put the link of this battle report in the description. We have beautiful terrain, very beautiful terrain, painted by him and his friends, and beautiful armies, and have a look. It's in French, but the automatic subtitles of YouTube work very well. Let's start with the mounted predator, which specifically this miniature is in the battle report. I'm making the promotion for this, but you can see, like, it's been doing an insane work. What does it do? For 100 points, you have this girl, because it's a carnivore, so it is a girl on top. 6 wounds, 6 attacks at clash 3. Okay, already quite good. Low defense, but it doesn't matter that much. Can shoot, which can be very useful, with armor piercing 1 and deadly shot, even if it's just 3 shots. Fiend Hunter, which means you only roll all your hits if you attack a brute or a monster. Be careful, because if you put her in the Raptor Riders, Raptor Riders have flurry, so in melee they reroll everything, but including infantry, which is not the case of the mounted predator. Very well. And her supremacy is thrill of the kill, same as all the other predators, which means that when you destroy an enemy regiment, you can put a chain marker of any cult you want in your pool, which is actually, like, just this makes it very good. The W'adhruns have crazy capacities for their supremacies, and this is already very good. But it's not the end. If the enemy was in range of an objective, you had 2 chain markers, so it really allows you to punch up super hard. And let's say your enemy is on the objective, you can charge with a unit, obliterate him because you have your 3 chain markers, make your super combo, and then you immediately gain another 2, so the next unit will sing, go to a level of 3, and you can again make this, and you can have a turn where you're at full power all the time with this thrill of the kill if you do manage to kill enemy regiments. And it can completely break a game. Like, I mean, if you do manage this well, you will obliterate maybe few regiments of the opponent in a single turn, and then you basically won. Like, it's really satisfying if you do manage to pull this off. Our special rule, which is unique to her, is that the speaker's regiments, which basically dinosaurs, ignore all the effects of hindering, dangerous, broken, and perilous terrain, which means you're basically Nords. You're better Nords by then, and you can just go around and have the best time of your life. If you play her, do try to hide behind water, inside a forest, etc. So the enemy has a lot of difficulties to charge you and trigger good things, but you can just charge out of the forest, out of all this dangerous terrain without any penalty. And this is the character you want probably to make the Jurassic Park list, with all the Tyrannosaur going out of the forest, which is shaking around. Again, we have a scene like this in the battle report. You will know what I mean with the Tyrannosaur coming by surprise out of a forest. And something to say, of course, is that she can have the Quatl as a restricted option, which is very good. Of course, you will want Raptor Riders as the mainstay to put her inside. Obviously, there is you don't have a choice actually for her. But then you can have an Apex Predator, great, Tauntor, amazing as well, even if it's expensive both in points and in euros, but it's the largest miniature I've ever seen, the Tontor, and the Quatl, which is also so massive. So great character. It is though artisan series, so it is a bit expensive, but you can either convert or wait that they release it in plastic. So if you buy her, do note that you have always 10% with Love 10 on the shop, and this is needed because it's a small, very beautiful, incredibly detailed miniature with scenic base, etc. That is pricey. If I'm being honest, if you play friendly games, just put a Raptor Rider with a little bit fancy conversion and say it's a mounted predator. Nobody in friendly games is gonna say anything. But if you want the miniature, just look at it. It looks brilliant. For First Blood, it's a little bit different. It's not a free character. Usually characters are free, except if they are massive monsters, or in this case, cavalry character. 50 points is not insane, but it's not free, something to note. She has very good stat lines, like 7 wounds, evasion 2, defense 3, resolve 4, okay, very well. 6 attack at clash 3, alright. Barrage 3 at volley 3, also good. Brutal impact, cleave 1, and 3 attacks of impact, which will have brutal impact then. Massive frame makes her tougher, but all the W'adhruns have this. Movement 8, that's already quite a brute that you have right there. And she has all these special rules. Let's start with the command abilities. So each round you can choose one of those capacities. The first one is if it bleeds we can kill it, which is weird because she's the predator. It's supposed to be your opponents that say this, but fine. You choose an enemy big unit, so cavalry, brute or monster, and then this target is marked. Any friendly regiment that inflicts a wound on this enemy regiment will cause moral test at -1 resolve, which is really good. Like you want someone dead, you put this on a giant monster, which used to sometimes can be oppressive if there is an enemy apex predator, or I don't know, an ironclad drake of the Dwagons, etc. You want this guy dead, you put this, it's probably gonna die. The other option is Mark of Conquest. So you can use this, for example, if there is no monster or cavalry, etc. in your enemy list. Like you play against me and I have 10,000 Dwagons, you're probably gonna trigger this. You choose a friendly regiment in your command range, and it gets +2 to its charge distance rolls if the enemy is in objective. Luckily, otherwise it would be extremely powerful, because let's remember that in First Blood now you don't roll a dice. It's you have a fixed distance of charge, and this really either you will catch an opponent unaware because he will just say, like, you know, it's a little bit like War Machine, like, okay, your threat range is this, okay, I go there, and they're like, haha, but no, I can have Mark of Conquest, +2 charge, you kill him, you probably win. This is gonna happen once, and then the opponent is always gonna have to consider that you have this capacity, and so your threat range can be +2, and then it's like +2 on the threat range of units that are already quite mobile. It can be a headache for your opponent, for which there is no right answer. So this is really, really good, and both of these capacities are great. Most of the time, like if you don't have something very crazy to do or it will not help you that much, you will use if it bleeds we can kill it, but just having Mark of Conquest in your bag is going to cause a lot of troubles to your opponent. Then she has this list of special rules which basically tell you which type of units you can bring, you will want to bring, because unlike in Last Argument of Kings, you have one character and it will really influence your list. First of all, Raptor Riders and Antique Packs get Fluid Formation, which is not as good as in Last Argument of King, but it's still fine. And this is the big one, they lose the Feral special rule. So that's already really important, and it unlocks you this horde of small raptors and big raptors, army list options for your forces. I call it smaller raptors. I know that hunting packs have a specific dinosaur name. I'm not an expert, but yeah, I call them small raptors because they look like this. On top of that, both those units, Raptor Riders, hunting packs, count as 3 models for seasoning objectives. So it really, like you can see, just this rule pushes you to play those units. They gain fleet formation, they lose feral, and they gain better objective control. Just this, already great. But also, when these characters, so specifically the mounted predator, performs a disengage action, you do not receive any attack of opportunity and you don't become broken. Basically, it's extremely hard to disengage. This mounted predator, no worries. You can disengage, you can really be soapier and be very hard to catch. Great. Then you have Rampant Savagery. This is also very good. If you make impact attack, you have 3 of those, and you have brutal impact 1. If anybody dies from this, There is a fair chance, especially if you attack infantry with 1 or 2 wounds. If you kill anyone, then your guy, your mounted predator, gains terrifying 1. So basically, all your attacks, and you have 6 of those at clash, and that's gonna be clash 4, with cleave 1, gaining terrifying 1, that you will obliterate everything around you. And I like that this called rampant savagery. You can imagine her being like the raptor being very violent and all the little men-at-arms running around. Like, it's very fun. And finally, Thrill of the Kill. As you have seen, it's the name of the supremacy in Lost Arguments of King, but here it means that casualty tokens are not affected to the regiment, which means you cannot resurrect them, first of all, and you affect them on the mounted predator, though. Like, wow, okay. And first of all, while you have each token gives you +1 attack. Not only if you charge and kill people with impact, it's great, but on top of this, it's gonna give you more attack on top of terrifying 1. Wow. And then if you remove any casualty tokens during the remove casualty token step, you heal 1 wound each time. So wow, this is extremely fun. You will have this character probably with some raptors around and some mini raptors around, like hunting packs, and you're gonna charge the enemy. She's just gonna charge what she wants to charge. She's gonna have 3 attacks, 3 impacts that will impact, gonna kill someone, gonna gain extra attacks, gonna gain terrifying 1, and she's gonna disengage as she wants. She can heal. Like, this is really a huge headache for your opponent. I love this character. It's just fun to play both in Lost Arguments of King and in First Blood. I feel like I'm like saying like, yeah, buy it, but it is very expensive. That's the thing that I'm a bit sad about. It's Artisan Série. We know it's kind of like your way to supporting the game and the developers by buying this very expensive character. But damn, they did give us the rules that make us want to play this guy. Because it's not OP, it's just extremely enjoyable gameplay. Because everybody likes to just go around, charge what you want, get a lot of bonuses, disengage, and not being broken. It's just a great character that unlocks a very thematic and powerful but not OP gameplay in both First Blood and Lost Argument of King. Great rolls, and as we've seen just before, the miniature is insane. And now we go with something quite different, the Chosen of Death. So those guys are medium infantry at 220 points for 3 stats. So already this is like, wow, okay. This is premium infantry. It's basically on par with Dragon Slayers. So what do you get for this price? Well, first of all, they do punch hard, and I mean hard. They have 6 attacks each at Clash 3, so it's gonna be Clash 4, with Flawless Strike and Flurry. So you, at Clash 4 Flurry, you're not gonna make 18 hits, but you should make 15 hits for each of those, okay. Movement 6, so they can really engage how they want. They have 5 runes, that's good, but only Evasion 2, Resolve 3. So a bit less good than Sicarians from the 100 Kingdoms. So they're really kind of glass cannon. They will reach their opponent because they have loose formation. So they might be hard to shoot down before they get in melee and punch you up. If you do have this unit, they're going to be very expensive. Maybe you're going to even have some extra stands. You probably will want to chant death with this. It's, of course, Chosen of Death. And if you chant the battle cry, on top of the bonuses that you will have chosen by then, you will have +1 to evasion. So you're going to be evasion 3, resolve 3. So basically, as durable in terms of efficiency as Dragon Slayers, and even more resilient against anything that is AP 3 or 4. So they are expensive, but damn do they punch hard. You really need to consider that the stat lines is not insane, especially if you don't put them at evasion 3. But remember that those guys, if you have them, you will chant death with them every single time. And they are tougher than they look, they are hard to hit, and these are the guys that you send on enemies that have very high cleave, because they only have evasion. So for example, I take the example of Dragon Slayers, which cost basically the same. You send those guys on my Dragon Slayers, they win. Like, because I have cleave 3, those Chosen of Death don't care at all. They're gonna be evasion 3, doesn't change anything. And the Chosen of Death don't have any cleave, so anything with harden and everything, they don't care. They don't have any cleave anyway. They have Flawless Strike, which bypass completely any harden or bastion or anything. And they have Flurry, so they are very, very precise. And if I try to shoot you with my Hellbringer Drake. Oh, too bad, you have loose formation. So those guys, girls, have very specific targets, but they will excel against them. In First Blood, they're very expensive as well, let's be honest. For 4 models, you pay 190 points, so that's a lot. But they have 2 attacks each, which is very precious in First Blood. Like, there are very few units that have more than 1 attack. Chosen of Conquest have 3 attacks, but those are just absolute beasts. They are base evasion 3, defense 1, clash 3, 2 wounds. So not that tough, only 2 wounds. Let's not be insane. But they have deadly blades, relentless blow, and counter attack. So they can punch hard. They don't have still no cleave, but they have deadly blades and relentless blow, so they can generate a lot of attacks, plus counter attack as well. Great. And they have 2 special rules that make them very interesting. The first one is at the end of the activation, you may perform a free disengage action. And this is insane, means you are never locked with the enemy. You can just go inside, punch down, and then disengage, and be ready to just float around like this, kind of like what the mounted predator was doing as well, if we remember a bit. So that's great. You can disengage with a march of 3, so you cannot either teleport around, let's not exaggerate, but still very, very efficient. And they have a battle strength, and this is insane. You remove 3 casualty tokens from enemy regiments within range when you finish your clash action. So for example, my Dwegom that want casualty tokens to become angry, they would not like that at all. And for each casualty token that you remove, remember up to 3, you gain different bonuses until the end of your next activation, so the next time you activate. And there are 3 levels. Level 1, you gain Flurry. Sure, level 1, no problem. Level 2 is called Death Comes for Soul, and you gain +1 attack, so you get 3 attacks per chosen. Insane. And 3 casualty token, 1 with the you have another additional free action during your next activation. Like, what the hell? So these guys can just come, they charge. Maybe someone that has already activated, so maybe not, you don't really care. You go, you charge, you obliterate like 3 guys at least, because come on, look at your stat lines. You're gonna prevent them from healing because you will consume the casualty token, and then next time you attack, you're gonna have 3 attacks each, clash 4, flurry, and you can do something like a move charge attack. So of course, if you do move charge attack while you are being disengaged because you have a war dance, you're just gonna teleport around, do exactly the same, obliterate someone even harder, and do this turn after turn. Those guys, luckily they are 190 points, but I feel like it's not much that you pay for this. Like, I have no idea how I could handle this unit as a Dragon player or as any player. They are very strong, they are super elite, super powerful infantry, and I mean, the gameplay is amazing. Like, they feel almost like wood elves, I would say, for those that know the old world. They have war dancers, I think it's the name, and this is how they feel. They just come around, they punch you very hard, disengage, and punch you even harder the next turn with all the bonuses. Incredible units, and just a pleasure to play. I'm really not trying to push you like, oh my god, get these boxes, buy it, but even my Dwegom Heart, which is like, I like defensive positions, you hold the line, you're tanky, etc. I have to admit that this kind of gameplay of being very free, very like soapy, hard to catch, it's very fun. Finally, we go with the Quatl, and there are 2 versions, one with a rider, which is the Winglord Predator, which is a character actually, and one without the rider, without the predator on top. For last argument of king, it's 210 points, so not insanely expensive, but remember it's the price of the character. It comes obviously with its Quatl. You have basically the same as the mounted predator, hunting pact and riders as mainstay, and you can have another Quatl if you want as restricted or an apex predator. It cannot take the Tontor this time. Movement 9, but yeah, you are massive and you're flying, so of course you're fast. 16 wounds, wow. Evasion 2, defense 3, resolve 3, so not going anywhere that fast. 11 attacks, alright. At clash 3, already nice. Clash 3, so it's gonna be clash 4, let's say. Cleave 1, wow. Like, what else to say, but I didn't think he would punch that hard for just a giant bird. Like, even when I compare it to, I don't know, an apex predator, this guy punches hard. And it has something interesting. Like, it has a lot of flying rules, death from above, we'll talk about it right now. But base, it has fluid formation. So remember, in Lost Regiment of King, it's very good. You can really orient yourself as you want. It has fly, so it has some specific rules about, for example, flying over units where you can stop or not stop. But it can be punched. This is the thing you need to remember. It's not flying, so you can only shoot it with bows or anything. Like, no, you can punch this guy, but it has some nice rule of basically flying where he wants. But then let's consider that he's landed. And it has a shooting attack, and then you're like, oh, that's too bad. I wish I could use the shooting attack, but oh, no, I really want him to punch because he punches very hard, so I want to like make a charge and then attack. But don't worry, because it has mounted hunters. So this regiment may perform a free volley action during its activation. So let's say that while the bird is charging and punching, or biting, let's say. Do you say biting when it has a beak in English? I'm not sure. But on top of that, the Winglord Predator on top shoots at barrage 6, 14 inches, armor piercing 1. Wow. Like, this is like volley for, like, you will not inspire, you will not aim, but 6 attacks at volley 3, armor piercing 1. It's not negligible. Like, you might kill a stand outright, maybe will, every time you activate for free. Nice. Also, I didn't say it has 6 impact attacks. It will come into well, I will not make any teaser. Death from above. If you make a successful charge on an enemy's flank or rear arc, and you have a lot of mobility, then those 6 impact attack are getting brutal impact 2. So that's already great. If you are on the side of the regiment, it means you can shoot before you charge. You can make your charge at 6 attack brutal impact 2, and then make your 11 attacks, clash 4, cleave 1. Amazing. But it's not the end. It's not the end of those crazy rules. Bird of Prey. If you march over size 1 enemy regiment, size 1 is basically infantry, like human-sized regiment, not brutes, etc. You make 5 hits, automatic hits, like you touch. 5 hits. And they don't trigger morale, but they are considered originating from the flanks. So no shield, no phalanx, no, from the flank. So you don't have all your defenses. Starts to be almost oppressive. And what does this Winglord Predator specifically give you as a special rule? It's that all the speaker's monster regiment, so not cavalry, so Apex Predator, Quatl, Tauntaur, those monster regiments that are not cavalry, gain Predatory Shriek, which is a chant. You can use 3 chant markers from any cult in any combination, and then your giant creature gains Terrifying +1 until the end of the round. Is it amazing? I don't think so. I have to admit, I'm not sure. Like, from how I read, you don't gain, like, for example, you spend 3 Conquest, you gain the bonus of Conquest 3, plus you gain this Terrifying +1 on top. For me, it's like you have to choose this benefit. And Terrifying +1 is nice. I'm not saying it's useless. But is it insane? I'm not sure you're buying the Winglord Predator for this. There might be a moment when it really helps and you want the unit to die and this is what you need. But you don't buy the Winglord Predator for this. By the way, it cannot be your warlord, which means it does not have a supremacy. And it cannot purchase artifacts or mastery. So, okay. It's considered, like, even though it's a character, it is considered also to be a monster stand. Overall, we will compare him with a basic Quatl without the Winglord Predator, but damn, this guy is good. The Predatory Shriek, I wish it was a bit stronger, but it's not nothing. Terrifying +1, it's not nothing, except if you are against all the minion. And it seems, again, to have this very mobile gameplay of the W'adhrun, and especially this release, where you're just gonna fly around, go on the flank, shoot around, shoot from the flanks, give like 5 automatic hits, gain brutal impact 2. This guy is strong, and I really like him. I don't think it's gonna be that oppressive on the tables because it's still 210 points, and it's only as soon as you're gonna start to have a little bit of cleave, it's gonna be basically defense, evasion 2, resolve 3, 16 wounds. You can kill him, not easily, but you can kill him if you catch him. And it's not teleporting around either. I mean, fly is great, fly and fluid formation is great. I mean, it is very mobile, but it's not impossible to deal with. One thing that you have seen from the video, but this guy with its swing takes so much space. So just for the pleasure of having this giant creature on the table, having 1 Quatl, I think just for the swag,
For First Blood, it's another talk entirely, and there is a lot of rules, but we said it's gonna be a deep dive, so let's take a look. So it's a character at 380 points, that's massive. Even at the new point scale, which is 1000 points, it's almost half of your army. It's more than a third of your army for sure, but it's a beast. It has 16 wounds, so again, at First Blood, it's a lot. Same stat line, evasion 2, defense 3, resolve 3, 8 attacks only, luckily. At Clash 2 base, so quite lower, and there is a rider with its own stat line-ish. It has 5 attack, this guy, at Clash 3, which means that on top of, like, with everything, you're gonna make 13 attacks. Wow. Fiend Hunter, so you can absolutely obliterate with your Predator the enemy monsters or cavalry, etc., whether you shoot at them or you clash them. If you shoot at them, on top of this you have armor piercing 1 with your barrage 6, so if you have a choice, better to shoot with the mounted Predator than to clash, but if you clash you can have the Quatl as well, so you know. Its command capacities, we've seen if it bleeds we can kill it. If it bleeds, isn't there S missing? Anyway, we've seen it before, still nice as default, okay. And the other command is Way of the Hunt. You choose a friendly infantry regiment and you give +2 to their march characteristics, which is great because from my understanding of the new First Blood rule, it means that yes, it only targets infantry, but it means that they gain +2 march and they can gain +2 charge because charge is based on the march value. So if you want to make a move charge, you just gain +4, which is massive. Tell me in the comment if I understand this right, but I believe that's how it works. Now let's have a look at all those rules. Oh my god, so many. Let's start with the short one. Violence of action. All regiments in your army, which is, remember, the army is going to be small because this guy costs 400 points almost. All your regiments gain opportunist, so you gain bonuses if you flank the enemy. Hunting party, and this gives you an indication of what to bring with this guy. Hunter and slinger regiments gain fluid formation, which I'll be honest, is not insane in First Blood at all. It helps you with the terrain, but it's not crazy, but it starts to tell you like, okay, you are supposed to bring your hunters and your slingers, even if it's not this that is going to make you bring it. Then it has kill marks, which basically gives you points for killing enemies. Keep a tally of how many casualty tokens are removed by enemy regiments, and for every 8 casualty tokens removed, you gain 1 victory point. And if the enemy character model has been removed as a casualty, then you gain another victory point. So it kind of like pushes you to play maybe a little bit less the objectives and a little bit more the attrition. It's fun. It's I don't remember seeing this with other characters, but I really like this alternative way to gain victory points. Very cool. It also has exactly the same rule as Mounted Predator. If you disengage, no worries, you have no attack of opportunity and you don't become broken. With movement 10, it means you can really go around far. And this is a big one, Quatl Master. It kind of explains how you can have 2 stat lines and 2 characters on 1 miniature. Basically, they say it's considered as 1 model with 2 characteristic profiles. Okay, you're gonna have still 2 command cards, one from the Winglord Predator and one for the Quatl. When you activate the Winglord Predator, you perform the character actions using these characteristics. So you can, for example, aim and shoot. That's what you want. That's it. When the Winglord Predator, so the guy, the humanoid character, makes a volley or clash action, then both the rider and the mount may perform that action with their respective characteristics. So shooting doesn't have any shooting, the Quatl, so we don't care. But if the Winglord Predator clashes, the Quatl clashes as well. Alright. And when the miniature is attacked, it's only the Quatl that can be targeted, obviously because it has its own like wound characteristic. And if the Quatl dies, then the Winglord Predator dies as well. This is quite insane because from how I read it, you can really choose, and this is very important, well, you don't have many miniatures, we've played this, you can really choose the order of activation. Do I want to first shoot with my Predator to make some damage and hunt someone? We'll see the rule in a second. And then my Quatl charges and clash, which is great. Like, I mean, especially depends on the target, but can really be great. Or do I want to charge with my Quatl first, so activate the Quatl first, charge, punch, great. And then to activate my Winglord Predator, which is then gonna punch himself and trigger a second attack from the Quatl. So you have those two possibilities. If the Winglord Predator shoots, it has Hunt Beacon, which means, let me show you, yeah, there. If you shoot against an enemy regiment, it becomes hunted, and it means whenever a friendly regiment performs a volley action against the hunted, first of all, they gain sure shot, which is great, and the enemy's evasion value is of 0, which can absolutely obliterate. There are some units in the game that have defense 0, evasion 3, for example. Then it's kind of, if you hunt them like this, it kind of like means as if you had armor piercing 3 against their evasion. Like it's absolutely insane. So it really depends. Like when you activate first your Winglord, you can shoot on a unit of ghosts or whichever that is far, and then your Quatl will charge something else. You lose kind of like the free second action of attack, but you can help your hunters and your slingers to really hunt well. And this is why you want hunters and slingers in your regiment. But if you don't do that, you can charge with your Quatl first, and then you can, for example, still shoot. There is a rule somewhere. Yeah, overhead shot. You can still shoot in your enemy regiment in melee with no problem with your Predator, and then clash. That's how I understand the rule. There is another way to understand this rule, and I will put this in question mark. If you know the truth, let me know. This rule, from how I read, it could mean that you can maybe shoot out of melee. Like you can shoot on enemy regiments that are being engaged. I'm 80% sure it's not true. If it's true, it's very strong and you don't have choice. You will always charge with the Quatl and then shoot on someone anywhere. Otherwise, it's a real choice how to activate this guy. I hope it's been clear. We spent a little bit of time on this Winglord Predator, but as you can see, there is a wall of text. Basically, it's very strong, very mobile, and it probably can clash twice, which is great. And again, if you play First Blood and you have this giant creature on the table, it's going to be so massive, it's going to really attract the attention, and I mean, it's a beautiful, massive miniature, and I'm really excited to see Yasant painting his Quatls, yes, plural, and to see them on the table. Last but not least, we have the Quatl without the Predator, which is interesting. Like, if you don't want to spend too many points, this is the version for you. So let's start by saying that it's a little bit weaker than the mounted Winglord Predator. It has 1 less wound, 2 less attacks. It's just a little bit less good overall. I will not go too much in detail. It's basically the same in some ways, with some rules less. It still has the rule of free shooting, even if the shooting is a bit less good, as you can see. 1 less barrage, and okay. It has 1 less clash, and this is a big one, I think. Like, it's already quite huge, losing a clash. It still has Bird of Prey, which means that it can fly over someone and make some damage. It still has Death from Above, so if you make an impact on the side or in the rear, you gain Brutal Impact too, which is great. And that's it. It does not have Predatory Shriek, we don't care, and that's going to be about it. Like, that's, okay, it has less stat lines, and most of it I don't care. 1 less barrage is fine, 1 less wound, it's fine. But losing 1 clash and 2 attacks, it will really hamper your firepower, like your damage in melee. Is it worth paying plus 40 points to have a Winglord Predator, which is going to be a character which, with all the good and bad that it means, to gain more attacks, more barrage, more clash, more wounds, more... It's a tough call. If there was not the difference in clash, it would be easier, and the game would be less balanced, and I would tell you every single day of the week you would take the normal Quatl. But with the Clash 2, and Clash 2, yes, you're gonna be at Clash 3 when you inspire, but I have a lot of bad memories of being at Clash 2 or Clash 3 when you inspire, and just being very, very disappointed of my role. So it depends. What you can do is just to build your Quatl, or you don't have to magnetize them, you just build it how you want. And if you have only 1 Quatl, it's not going to be confusing for your opponent, and see what fits in your list. If you need to get 40 points in your list because it unlocks you a good regiment that you wanted on, but okay, take the basic Quatl. And if the other way around, you have a Quatl and you're like, oh my god, I have another 40 points, what should I do with it? I cannot buy another regiment, I cannot buy another stand. Well, just upgrade your Quatl into a Winglord Predator. That's how I would do this. The Winglord is a straight up upgrade in many ways to the Quatl, but the miniature is not that different, and it's basically just an upgraded version. I would almost call it a named version if it was unique, but you see my point. That's why we're not going to spend more time. The video is long enough as it is. If you want my honest opinion, if I had to choose, I would probably go with the basic Quatl, because 40 points is really not insignificant, and yes, you will do less damage, but I also feel like you pay to be a character and thus unlocking some slots, and you pay to have this predatory shriek, which is not insane, and I would probably go with a Quatl, which is weaker, but it's probably more efficient per point than the Winglord Predator. And then we go with the First Blood version of the Quatl, so not a character, 350 points, but it's the same as what we said, like it's a bit weaker. As you can see, it doesn't have a wall of text. See, if I put you back, like you can see the absolute wall of text of the Winglord Predator compared to the basic Quatl. It's only 30 points less, and it's really inferior. Like, if I'm being honest, all the crazy rules that allow you to make a double activation, it's not there. It still has the hunt beacon, and it still has the overhead shot, so you can still use it, but yeah, it's not great. The one good thing is, like, you can put this guy on top of another character, so maybe there is a crazy combo that I missed where you have another warlord, another main character in First Blood, and then you have a Quatl, and the combo is insane, but didn't see this. If you saw this, let me know in the comments, but I really missed it, if it does exist. And unfortunately, it makes me want to say that if you want a Quatl in First Blood, don't do half measures, take the Winglord Predator. Like, no question. Like, it has such stronger rules, like, and I don't see myself going out of, like, kill marks are nice, hunting party we don't really care, but the Quatl muster, like, this capacity is insane, and I don't see myself getting the Quatl otherwise. Maybe there will be an FAQ and I misread, and you cannot make this double activation with the Winglord Predator. In this case, okay, it's more of a question, but even then, come on, just get the Winglord Predator in First Blood. In Last Arguments of King, as we've said, probably the basic Quatl is better. In First Blood, I mean, come on, just get this guy and trigger and have all your hunters and trigger all the good keywords and have fun. If you are motivated, but be careful because it's resin and the miniature is expensive, you could try to magnetize the rider, the pilot. It's very dynamic with this spear and everything. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be. You can try just to magnetize the head maybe, or I don't know. Or buy 2 Quatls like Yasant did and be happy. Either way, it's a fun miniature that is, again, a giant dinosaur, because it's not a bird, right? And if you have this guy, like, you will have a very good time. It's fun to play, it's mobile, it's not like a slow unit that you will get stuck and die very fast. You will be able to use it efficiently with movement 10 and have some good activations before it eventually dies, like all miniatures eventually do. I have to say, if I ever have one myself, I would probably put this head, because this looks like it just wants to break at the tip at some point. If you do buy a Quatl, if you already bought a Quatl, let me know how you transport this. Did you manage to magnetize the wings or something? Because right now I have no idea how I would transport this guy. Like, Conquest miniatures are brilliant, but damn, we have seen now the Archangel for the 100 Kingdoms. How do you transport those? Like, if you have to transport for your friend a Quatl that take like 40 centimeters wide and an Archangel which is like 30 centimeters high, like, how do you transport those things? How do you store those things? I have no idea. The miniatures are incredible, but maybe not so practical to have. And we arrive at the end of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. We are north of 1 hour now before editing, so maybe it's gonna be a little bit lower, but still, it was a long video, but there was a lot of things to say, a lot of beautiful miniatures, a lot of complex gameplay, as we have seen, with tons of rules. I hope it is clearer for you. If you are a W'adhrun player, let me know what you think of all of this, all of your new army. Like, how do you enjoy playing W'adhruns now? Because they are much easier and much more fun to play. And again, in the description is the link to the Higi TV battle report. It's in French, but put the YouTube subtitles, it works really well. And let us know in this video what you think of this battle report. There is all those things. There is a mounted predator, there is an apex predator, there is a tauntaur, and there is a 2v2 using the official 2v2 rules. So you will see some Nords, some Wagons, of course, some city-states. So if you finish this video, go and continue there. Otherwise, thank you very much. Give us a comment. You might win an entire Wagom army, not the entirety of my collection, but a part of it, a big part of it. Thumbs up, subscribe, everything, and thank you for having watched until the end. And until the next video, remember to keep things fair in love and war games. Bye!